Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. This world is getting so cold. I wanna keep running like a soldier. Somebody must have touched my soul, 'cause there ain't no stopping till it's over. I wanna get up out my chair, 'cause everybody's getting so lazy. Don't want nobody touch my hair, 'cause a lot of sisters acting too crazy. And them not tough like this, rough like this, and them not nice like this. Some can't take it when you talk true sense. Rather hear the words that glorify nonsense. Yes, and I got my brains, and I'm pretty like my mama. I don't wanna pick your brains, I just want the microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. I wanna share my love, but it's gotta be with someone who's precious. You're never gonna get my love, accepting that you're real precious. You're never gonna cramp my style, baby, 'cause I get a lot of pleasure. And if you wanna test my style, you better have a whole lot of measure, 'cause I'm a rock back chick, never tag along the never look back chick. Trendy, a little crazy, intelligently singing rock back chick. No sticks, no stones, or any kind of weapon don't belong here. I don't wanna break no bones, I just want a microphone. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning, good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Want the microphone, morning. I just want the microphone, morning, morning. Take the mask off your face and look at me face to face. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. This world is getting so cold. I wanna keep running like a soldier. Somebody must have touched my soul, 'cause there ain't no stopping till it's over. I wanna get up out my chair, 'cause everybody's getting so lazy. Don't want nobody touch my hair, 'cause a lot of sisters acting too crazy. And them not tough like this, rough like this, and them not nice like this. Some can't take it when you talk true sense. Rather hear the words that glorify nonsense. Yes, and I got my brains, and I'm pretty like my mama. I don't wanna pick your brains, I just want the microphone. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
viewers, it's 7 a.m. and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Of course, you can certainly see from that view on the outside that it is a rainy morning. And I've slowed it down naturally for those of you that are still in bed listening to us. And then we pick it up back because there are those of you on the road still in the midst of this weather. Some of you sipping on that cup of tea this morning, having a coffee, some having some juice. Just as you get the morning started here, ready for the day ahead. I am Julian Skeet and we continue to give God thanks for life. Yes, Ria isn't with us this morning. I want to say morning to Ria out there, wherever you are. Ensure that you keep safe out there. And we're looking forward to having you back. To being with us here on the Tobago Updates morning show. Viewers, we would have seen yesterday taking place quite naturally a major kind of celebration, celebrating life, that is, for the late Blacks indeed. And you know, there's one statement that I want to associate with that even in passing, he has left that kind of mark that for me yesterday, having watched parts of the funeral and the celebration, gives a clear indication that coming out or moving beyond the pandemic period and the many restrictions, he is certainly paving the way for what one would call gatherings once again. As you would have seen, the kind of festivities and celebrations, certainly celebrating his life. And you know, we definitely want to continue to extend condolences to the family. And we saw a number of our soca artists and so on coming together. It was really good to see that kind of energy and coming together in the entertainment industry, artists, different persons and so on, really making their contribution. And it allows us to see the extent to which he would have had really a significant impact. Even a number of activities highlighted here on our very own Tobago Updates morning show via the Youth Wednesday edition, in terms of highlighting activities right here in the Tobago space, celebrating Blacks, the man himself. And I really want to use the opportunity to just indicate and to suggest, I trust that we can give this kind of celebration even for those who are alive and well with us, when we respect and we regard them for the contributions that they make in this industry. All right, at this point, viewers, we prepare to head over to news in 90 seconds with Denise.
Thank you, Julian. Here's the news in 90 seconds. Minority Leader Kelvin Morris is questioning the judgment of Chief Secretary Farley Augustine in the Dr. Winfred James controversy. According to Morris, the PDP campaigned hard against nepotism and corruption, yet the decision was made to appoint Dr. James to a board under a division managed by his brother. The minority leader also criticized Augustine for only attempting to address the situation after there was an outcry from notable names in the public. The Bucko Reef ferry will be operational on the Trinidad to Tobago Sea Bridge for the upcoming Easter holiday period. The TTIT explains that the Bucko Reef statutory maintenance program has been rescheduled to April 20th, 2022. The ferry underwent preparatory landslide works from March 12th and resumed service on March 21st. However, additional sailings have been scheduled to satisfy the peak demand associated with the Easter holiday period. Furthermore, passengers are advised that the additional sailings will not impact the previously published schedule, as the original times have not changed. As such, ticket revalidations are not required. Soca icon Dexter Black Stewart was laid to rest on Wednesday following a service at the Queen's Park Oval in Port of Spain. His funeral was attended by many family, friends and colleagues in the entertainment industry. In true celebratory carnival style, fans in attendance at the funeral led a procession through the streets of Port of Spain. Black succumbed to the COVID-19 virus a little over a week ago at the Arima General Hospital. That was the news in 90 seconds. Back to you, Julian.
Thank you very much there, Alicia. Certainly giving us those highlights and the news, what's happening here in the Tobago space. Viewers, we also want to make mention of the fact, interesting, and I saw it earlier in the week, but we didn't have a chance to chat on it just yet, specific to Dr. Rowley's response, speaking to the Airbridge and Carl in relation to Tobago, and as well looking at the connections between some of the commitments being made by the Tobago House of Assembly specific at that through Chief Secretary Fali Augustine, and commitments in relation to taking things further in terms of steps within our tourism sector through the Secretary of Tourism as well in terms of flights and so on. And it's interesting, you know, the politics is always very interesting in our dynamics here within TNT, the Tobago space, making that connection between the fact that most certainly it is one thing to want to increase and to improve the arrivals, but one has to be mindful of the fact that also is only possible by way of the commitment that comes through the government in terms of providing that assistance with making some headway in relation to the new international airport to be able to better facilitate the arrivals and so. So I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful as I hear both the THE and the Chief Secretary and the government and the Prime Minister that really we will see a coming together to deliver even more for Tobago. Ultimately, that's what we are very hopeful for, that we will see that coming together to be able to deliver more for Tobago. At this point, we want to take the time out to get into some birthdays this morning. All right? Who do we have on the lineup for birthdays? We want to send a birthday shout out going out to Annalisa. Annalisa Dubois this morning. We want to wish you a happy birthday coming from the Tobago Updates family. All right. Who else do we have on the birthday lineup this morning? We also seeing Celine Arthur. Celine Arthur, wishing you a happy birthday, coming to you from the Tobago Updates family. We trust that you're having a great day. It's celebration time in April 2022. All right, and also on our birthday lineup this morning, Chinoa Jofield. Hey, my very good friend Chinoa, want to wish you a happy birthday. And I know the celebration is not going to be limited to today at all. Chinoa also have a great birthday coming from me as well as the Tobago Updates family. And I think we have an anniversary in the mix this morning. Happy anniversary going out to Farley and Nedra Beckles. Farley and Nedra Beckles. Ria is making sure that she sends this very warm anniversary greetings going out to you all this morning. And we also want to wish you all the best from the Tobago Updates family. All right, viewers, so just to give you a sense of what's on this morning, what's on our rundown this morning. And this morning in the lineup, we will be chatting with Imam Yusuf Diab, and he'll be speaking to us in relation to the holy month of Ramadan. We'll also be chatting about the rising egg prices and why. All right, and we'll be speaking with Lawrence Makoni, owner of Makoni Egg Farm. And we'll be chatting this morning with JCI about the official visit to Tobago. And no stranger to us here on set, the very popular President Janelle Makoni Critchlow, JCI National Councillor. And we'll also be chatting with JCI Senator Kevin Cornett, GCI National Executive Vice President. So that's the lineup here for this morning. And we thank you so much, each and every one of you, those of you viewing us right here in Tobago, those of you viewing us within Trinidad, the region, and the world at large. Thank you so much for your continued love and support. We are here because of you. We are here ultimately because of you, and we want to thank you so much. All of you joining us via TV, those of you joining us via radio, those of you joining us online. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Good morning, morning. Good morning.
Rest easy at American Stores. Up to 20% off. Outstanding discounts on selected Serta, Sealy, and Therapeutic mattress brands. Check us out today at American Stores, where we make quality living affordable.
It's the return of the Chief Secretary's Bago T10 Blast from Saturday 9th April to Friday 15th April at Sid Gray Sporting Complex, Roxborough. 7 days of explosive cricket action like never seen before.
That's one of the biggest hits in the tournament so far.
Come see national players Imran Khan, Mark Dale, Jason Mohammed, and players from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 4 franchises loaded with local, national, and regional stars will clash at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. daily. Lots of nightly giveaways. Only $20 at the door. Get in the game with the Chief Secretary's Bago T10 Blast 2.0. This ad is powered by the Office of the Chief Secretary.
I faked a migraine to skip my in-laws' anniversary. I call all my girlfriends babe, so I don't mix up their names.
I always pick fights before my boyfriend's birthday, so I don't have to buy him a gift.
Some secrets are too good to keep, like the KFC Secret Recipe Bucket, with 9 pieces of chicken and 5 regular sides for $129. Only at KFC.
Tobago is Easter, so join us. Call Thorns Place 745-7306 or 682-8676 and book your stay now. Rooms as low as 200 TT. Message us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. Just a 5-minute drive from the Scarborough Port. Tobago is Easter, so join us.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. It's 7:12 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Yes, it's one of those days where the weather, it's a little rainy on the outside, but hey, we live in the Caribbean, so it's either sun or rain that we have to enjoy, and we've got to ensure that we're productive nonetheless. In this segment, viewers, we are chatting with Imam Yusuf Diab, and we are discussing this morning the holy month of Ramadan, and he's representing the Tobago Islamic Learning Center. Morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Julian.
All right, so as we get started this morning, we want to start chatting first and foremost. For those viewers who are not as familiar, you know, you see the observance each year, and you know, you pay your respects and you try to be respectful. What exactly is Ramadan? What's the significance of Ramadan?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to greet everyone with the greeting of Islam, which is Assalamu alaikum, meaning peace be upon you, and begin with Bismillah, which is in the name of Allah. Now, before we get into that, I want to say that I appreciate the opportunity to come here and clarify to the viewers, your viewers and everyone, the actual meaning of Ramadan, and to perhaps give a little bit of background about who the Muslims are. Very recently, I did, in the past 2 weeks, I did a series of lectures in Speyside Secondary School about the same topic. And as I told them, I think Tobagonians, Trinidadians in general, owe it to themselves to learn a little bit about what Islam is. And when we say, you know, like in the holy month of Ramadan, which is what we're speaking about, it is important that you know who these people are called the Muslims. Because if you want to know about their practices, you know, when you want to know about the practice of any particular group or diaspora, you need to know who they are and what they stand for. So first and foremost, we should say, you know, what are the Muslims and what do we stand for? So Ramadan is, and I just want to give you a little bit of a background, first of all, linguistically. Now, the language of Islam is Arabic, which you might be aware of, most of the viewers, right? Arabic is an ancient language that is a sister language of Aramaic, which is the original language of Jesus and the original prophets and the Bible and so on, right? Now, in Arabic, the word for God is Allah, right? Just as in the original Bible, Aramaic, which is the language that Jesus would have spoken, and the Hebrew language, it's an ancient Hebrew language, the word is actually Elah or Elohim, right? Which is actually the same derivative, Allah. So the first misconception I'd like to dispel, because a lot of people say, well, you know, who is this Allah and who do you all worship and what is this God? Is it a pagan God? We hear all types of misnomers like, you know, it's a moon God and it's this and it's that. No. Allah is just the proper name for the one who is worshipped, the God of Abraham, Moses, and all the prophets.
Important distinction.
Right. And that's important because, again, like I said, this issue of who are the Muslims, you know, is tantamount to knowing what is Ramadan. Right? So, linguistically now, speaking about the Arabic language, linguistically, the word Ramadan in Arabic comes from the root word Ramada. Now, Ramada means literally to burn away something. So in Islam, in the religion of Islam, Ramadan comes, the word means to burn away the sins. So that is the linguistic meaning of the word. And it is a month that begins with the sighting of the new moon. We follow lunar months, right? So every month is either 29 or 30 days. We don't follow the Gregorian calendar. So the new month of Ramadan started right on the second of the night of the second, or the night precedes the day, right? So the night of the second became the first of Ramadan of April, and the third, which was the Sunday, we started fasting. Now, fasting, just to, again, a little bit of religious background. Allah says in the Quran, and I'm going to use the term Allah now freely, because now I believe everybody should understand that Allah is God, right? Allah says in the Quran, He says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Now,
the fair viewers, he's about to translate that for us.
Yes. It's in Arabic. The meaning of it is, O you who believe, fasting has been prescribed upon you as it was prescribed to those before you, meaning the people of the book, Christians and Jews, so that you may attain, in Arabic, the word is taqwa. Now, taqwa is a term, it's generally translated as God consciousness or fear of God, piety. But that is what the objective of fasting is. It is to to have this God consciousness, this state of being where you connect to your Creator, you connect to God, and you have this fear of God, for lack of a better word, where you know, every step that you take and every action that you perform, every statement that you make, you hold yourself accountable for it. So that is taqwa.
So tell us, how long does Ramadan usually last, and what are the expectations of Muslims during that time?
Okay, well, Ramadan is, again, we work on the lunar calendar, so every new moon is a new month. And it's usually 29 or 30 days. So once we sight the new moon, we stop fasting, we begin fasting, and when we sight the new moon, we stop fasting. And the expectation, again, as I mentioned, it's to achieve this state of taqwa. And in one of the authentic narrations of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, the one who does not give up evil actions, evil statements and actions, then Allah is not in need of him giving up his food and drink. So, and then one of the pious predecessors, as they used to say, they would say, giving up your food and drink is the easiest part of Ramadan. So what we do is so that in fact is, a lot of people say, well, it's so difficult to give up the food and drink. We don't actually, from sun up to sundown, we don't eat and we don't drink. And we don't partake in any sexual intimacy with our spouses, legal spouses, right? And that is, again, it is a form of cultivation, a form of self-discipline for the soul, so that we can make that connection with Allah, make that connection with our Creator, as to understand why it is these things that He given us, we don't take for granted and we become grateful servants. You know what I mean?
Yes. So clarify for some, and I'm glad you're getting into it in this kind of way to bring clarity even for those who are not as familiar. You said you don't eat or drink in terms of within that period. So some have asked, even going as far as, do you consume water? Are you allowed to consume water?
No water, nothing to eat, no form of nutrition at all, from sun up to sundown. So what we do is we usually get up before dawn. We have a pre-dawn meal.
Good.
It's called in Arabic suhoor, and then we have a few little slight meal, and then until the sun sets, then we have our first meal for the day. So again, no eating or drinking, and that doesn't mean life stops,
Right.
If you're whatever job you're into, whatever you're doing, you still have to continue your work. You still have to. It's not a month of like sleeping and resting, then per se.
So tell us, at what age is there a standard age that persons get started with? Because of course, not certain younger ones may not give us a sense of the age group that there's this expectation with.
Right. Well, not only the younger ones, but it's not obligatory on those before the age of puberty, just as it's not obligatory on the elderly and the sick. right? So those are exempted. And in that exemption, for the elderly and the sick anyway, they have to feed a poor person for each day that they don't fast, right? Feed one poor person. So if they missed 30 days of fasting, they have to feed 34 people. So, essentially, a lot of the tenets of Islam.
That's a very
Julian,
very interesting learning
yeah,
there
I'll
that
tell
I just
you what,
had.
and it's, that's why I encourage the viewers to, research Islam. Use this month, in Ramadan, if you have Muslim friends, neighbors, compatriots, research a little bit about Islam. I'll tell you, a lot of the tenets of Islam has to do with connecting the person with their creator, as well as, for lack of a better term, balancing the playing field, in the sense that, again, for example, Ramadan, whilst we're fasting, you're thinking about all the people in the world that don't have food and drink to eat. No matter how rich we are, how full our cupboards are at home, we're not going to be able to eat. So it gives us that sense of, a sobering feeling. What is it that, people in other parts of the world are facing, whether it be in Palestine, a Muslim country, or Syria, or any other country for that matter, in Africa, India, people that are facing starvation that can't get a meal when the day comes.
And I find it interesting in terms of mentioning starvation, because I recall following the news particularly and seeing persons in terms of preparation for Ramadan out there in the world and talking about the increase and the high food prices and so on.
Right.
Is there any kind of support that is provided in terms of, in that context, even for your own members, as the Tobago Islamic Learning Center?
Well, yeah, definitely. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said Ramadan is, and one of his authentic statements, Ramadan is also the month of feeding. So the month of feeding people. So you find that Muslims generally become a lot more generous. They are generous throughout the year, but in Ramadan, extremely more generous. And that was one of the ways of our Prophet as well. He was known to be a very generous person, but in Ramadan, extremely more generous. So you find that people would sponsor dinners every night in the mosque. So, for example, in our mosque here in Crown Point, every night we have dinner provided for the worshippers. They'll come out to the mosque. We have night prayers at the mosque as well. And throughout the world, they have campaigns going on. I'm aware of, friends in the UK, friends in Saudi Arabia, friends in Dubai that are putting together campaigns to feed the poorer countries that are going through, difficult times like Yemen and Somalia and different countries that have majority Muslim populations that are facing hardships that can't get that meal when the day comes.
So tell me, for persons who may be tuned in and hearing this, and become interested, is the month of Ramadan, I know you just mentioned in terms of these, that will happen, on a daily basis and so.
Right.
Is the month of Ramadan the time that one says, I may have an interest? How do I get involved? Is it that the time to visit, or do you usually suggest outside of that time? Give us some guidance in that regard.
Right, absolutely. I mean, there's no good time, there's no bad time rather to visit. Anytime, our mosque is always open. Any Muslim, and I think in general, any mosque around the world, would welcome anybody to come in. And I invite any one of our non-Muslim viewers, listeners, anybody that is listening to me, come out, visit us here at the mosque in Crown Point here in Celestine Trace, right on Storby Local Road. We are open, especially in the evenings. We are there. We have dinner. Anybody can come and sit and eat with us and learn about the basics of Islam. Islam is built upon the connection, as I mentioned. The word Islam, again, a little bit of linguistic background. The word Islam is an Arabic word that means al-istislamu billah. It means to submit to the one true God, which is Allah, and become a servant to Him and a slave to Him. That servitude that we are ever so proud of saying that we are those that are slave. We rather be a slave to the Creator than a slave to the creation. So, come in and we can have a discussion. Anybody that would like to come and visit us, they're more than welcome, and we're happy to, especially in this month where they could, where people are breaking fast and being a little bit more religious and so on, we could sit and have a conversation about it.
As an opportunity for learning. Very quickly before we run out of time, my research tells me that there are 5 pillars in terms of the core beliefs. We would have extensively touched on one in relation to Ramadan, specific at fasting. Give me a sense a little bit about the other 4, just very quickly. I see prayers, pilgrimage, and so on.
Okay.
Just give us a sense of that.
So yes, the Prophet, peace be upon him, he said that Islam is built upon 5 pillars. And again, if you look at them, they are all built upon connecting the individual, the human being, to his creator. With following the way of the prophets and messengers, all of them, from the first of them being Adam, Noah, and all the way to the end of them being Jesus and Muhammad. Peace be upon them all. So the first of them is to testify that there is no God worthy of worship besides Allah, and that Muhammad is his final messenger in that long line of messengership.
So that's the profession of faith.
Right.
Good.
Declaration of faith. So that is the pillar, that is the foundation. And then you have your pillars, you have Salah, which is the prayer. Right? Again, prayer is such our prayer, the way that we pray, and we pride ourselves in saying that the way that we pray is the way that all the prophets and messengers prayed, including Jesus. Even if you did the research, you would see that the Bible mentions the way that prostrate into the ground and so on. And our Prophet, peace be upon him, he said, when the servant, when his head touches the ground, and this is one of the beautiful parts of Islam, when his head touches the ground, he is the closest to the Most High. So you are in the this is the beauty of it. You are in the lowest part of the earth, but yet you are closest to the Most High. Yes. And that is a form of humility. It's a form of, a form of adoration to the Most High, And it's something, and that is the thing. It equals the playing field because, again, we would pray in a line of prayer. When we pray, we line up in the prayer in the mosque. You would have next to you people who could be millionaires, someone who could be a pauper, a gangster on the street. But we all bowing our heads straight down to the ground to face the one true God, And that is a beautiful experience. So that is the prayer. Then you have fasting, as you mentioned, in the month of Ramadan. You have
I think I saw zakat.
Zakat,
right?
Zakat is, again, and this is the beauty of the social structure, the social justice of Islam. Zakat is the obligatory alms or charity that is due upon every Muslim in a yearly period once he meets a certain quota, stipend quota. So if you, for example, Julian, let's say as a Muslim, you have $2,000 in savings after a year, you have to pay 2.5% of your entire savings to the poor, and that is obligatory. That is obligatory. And again, if we go back to the root word of zakah, the root word of zakah is tazkiyah. Tazkiyah in Arabic means to purify. So what zakah is, it's purifying your wealth. So an individual who makes $1 million, who has $1 million in savings, he will take, imagine what 2.5% of $1 million is.
Yes.
And he must give that in charity. That is a way of him saying, okay, look, that wealth doesn't belong to me. That wealth came to me from Allah, and I'm going to give it to those who I need to serve humanity as well.
And just before we run out of time, don't forget, I want to hear about pilgrimage as
well.
Right,
well, pilgrimage, Hajj, as it's called, is once in a lifetime, a Muslim must go to the house in Mecca, right? Now, Mecca, again, we hear so much misconceptions about Mecca. People say, oh, the black box in Mecca, that is, a pagan worship of the Saturn god and all sorts of foolishness. That house, as a matter of fact, if you research even in the Bible, those of you who are familiar with Bible verses, the house of Paran is mentioned in the Old Testament, is where Ismail is from, Ishmael. And it was prophesied that that house would have worshippers that are loyal to God, 10,000 worshippers in particular, which is a prophecy about Prophet Muhammad. That house is the first house that was built to worship one God by Abraham and Ishmael. So that is when we make that pilgrimage, is to commemorate Abraham and his devotion to Allah, to the one true God. Because when Abraham went to sacrifice his son and so on, that took place there. And that is that area. So in that area, that is where he built that, established that house. That is where we go. So every Muslim sane who has the wealth and ability to do so must do that once in a lifetime.
All right. So just remind us again, finally, where you all are located, contact information, how do persons make that connection?
Well, I want to leave your viewers and yourself with one particular message, and that is that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. That is statistically accurate. You can Google it. It's not me saying that, not Yusuf. It is something that is a known fact. And therefore, as I said to the secondary school students at that time, you owe it to yourself to know a little something about Islam. Do the research, find out what it is that makes Muslims. I recently watched an interview by Muhammad Ali, the boxer, in the early 70s that he did on ESPN. And he mentioned that, he said, he found the beauty of Islam because, in the early, human beings are notorious for being forgetful. And we forget just in recent history how, the suppression of the black people and how they, him as a Muhammad Ali being an African American, he said, I couldn't go to white churches. I had to sit in the back of the bus and these sorts of things. He said, but when I found Islam, it was such a beautiful thing to see black and white together. I was able to sit with, kings, and the king of Dubai, King Zayed, and Saudi Arabia and Pakistan and Morocco, and he said it was such a beautiful thing. So I invite the viewers, come, do your own research if you can. And then when you have questions, come visit us. We are located in Crown Point on the Storby Local Road on Celestine Avenue. It's called Masjid Abdullah ibn Abbas, which is one of the companions of the Prophet, Tobago Islamic Learning Center. Celestine Trace. We have a phone number, 639-8434. You could also message us at tobago@islam.tt. That's tobago@islam.tt. any questions. And again, feel free to visit. There's no pressure, no obligation. Come sit and have a conversation and learn about the fastest growing religion in the world, and a religion that is, you know, amongst us, that again, you owe it to yourself to know a little something about, you know.
Excellent, viewers. And, you know, I am interacting to this extent with Imam here for the very first time. And I'm told that this energy is quite normal, this kind of high energy. So thank you so much again for giving us a little insight here, all you viewers, in relation to the holy month of Ramadan. Imam Yusuf Diab, and I'm going to venture a little bit here, representing the Masjid bin Abbas.
That's right.
Good. Tobago Islamic Learning Center.
Very nice.
All right. So we want to thank you very much for joining us on set. And viewers, you have the opportunity. Feel free to connect, located down there in the Crown Point area. And you can also connect with them via phone at 639-8434. All right, viewers, we want to thank each and every one of you for your continued love and support as we look forward to our follow-up segments coming up with us this morning, chatting about rising egg prices and the official visit to Tobago in relation to GCI, Junior Chamber International. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for that love and support. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Looking for that all-in-one shopping experience? Then look no more. Visit Lamb's Best Mart for your grocery items, fruits and vegetables, drinks, home items, stationery, gift items, hampers, shopping gift cards, toiletries, small hardware items, and much more. We provide order and pickup service, even delivery to your door. We are your friendly community supermarket. Check us out today at Lamb's Best Mart, located at 22 Daniel Trace Canby, or visit us on social media at Lamb's Best Mart.
We party till we drop down there with a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
It's the return of the Chief Secretary's Bago T10 Blast from Saturday 9th April to Friday 15th April at Sid Gray Sporting Complex, Roxborough. 7 days of explosive cricket action like never seen before.
That's one of the biggest hits in the tournament so far.
Come see national players Imran Khan, Mark Dale, Jason Mohammed, and players from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 4 franchises loaded with local, national, and regional stars will clash at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. daily. Lots of nightly giveaways. Only $20 at the door. Get in the game with the Chief Secretary's Bago T10 Blast 2.0. This ad is powered by the Office of the Chief Secretary.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning.
Good morning Tobago. Welcome back to Tobago Updates Morning Show. I am your host Candice Jackson, and I am coming to you from the Maconie Egg Farm, where we are going to be speaking about eggs. Eggs has been a hot topic these days with rising prices across the country. Some of these things are contributed by the rise in feed prices caused by some of those international and external factors. But to hear more about that, we are going to be speaking with the legendary Mr. Maconie himself, owner of Maconie Egg Farm, one of the biggest Egg Farm in Tobago. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, ma'am.
All right, and welcome.
Yes.
So, can you give me an idea of what's been happening recently where the prices of eggs are concerned?
Well, as everything else, prices going up, and you will have the same with eggs. The feed, the getting of the birds, and like everything that concerns eggs, the price is up. We were trying to keep the price down, but if we continue to do that, probably we'll be out of egg business in a short time.
So what kind of an increase are we talking about for Tobago?
Well, the increase is pretty high. The feed moved from like what per bag you pay? Well, about 2 something per bag as against in Trinidad. In Trinidad, they use the bulk truck to bring the feed to their farm. We don't have that facility. We can't get the bulk truck to come to Tobago. So we have to bring the feed by bags. Like bags like that. And to use every bag you use there, it costs you $2.75.
Wow.
So that is an extra cost Tobago carry as against Trinidad. So you will find the price of eggs still a little above Trinidad prices because of that price that we have to encounter.
And of course we know the price of feed is not the only thing that you will have to deal with.
No.
What are some of the extra costs that's involved with the egg production?
Well, as I tell you, the egg production, the crates, we used to bring these egg crates from Ukraine, not Ukraine, sorry, Austria. We can no more bring it from there.
That's what, the plastic egg crates.
Crate.
Yes.
Because sea freight and all freight is so high now, and to get the US to buy that, we can't be. So we have to try to get it local. And sometimes the local can't meet the demand.
So then how do you deal with a situation like that?
Well, we deal with it when we get it. When we could get the crate, we buy as much as we could, because we can't carry the eggs in the supermarket without the crate. If you're going to the market, then we use the flat crate with the 2.5 dozen. But we need the crate, and we need the US to buy the crate.
And what's the experience like in getting the US to...
Very difficult. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. And then we can't get.
Okay, and I know also that you import some of your chickens.
All the chickens.
Tell me about that process.
All the chickens, the baby chicks come from Miami, from this hatchery, Morris Hatchery in Florida. We get them from the hatchery at 1 day old. They land to Trinidad in the morning, early. Okay, the vet will check them there, but we have to get them from Trinidad to Tobago. A couple of months before, we used to get the air bridge to bring it across. That is no more available. So we have to get the ferry boat. And to get the ferry boat, the chicken is there in the morning in Trinidad. We have to go down to the port of Spain, wait until the boat is ready to leave at 2:30 or somewhere around there. There is no tree to shade the chickens, so we have to stay in the sun. And by the time the chicken come here in the night, about 9, 10 o'clock, about 50% of them dehydrated, weak, die by next morning.
So you're already starting out at a loss.
50% of the chicken will lose.
Wow. So then how do you treat with all of these things?
Well, I don't know. There's nothing we could do. If the people in the higher authority to get the airlines moving, well, I know the COVID was having an impact on it, but to get we can't get the facility change on the boat. They're not going to facilitate me because I have chicken to come or move the boat faster or put me in a cool place. There is no cool place on the port. So we have to just take our losses.
Have you ever spoken to the authorities about some of these concerns? Because I guess that you're not the only farmer or livestock farmer that has to go through something like this.
Well, nobody else can say, so why me? They're going to figure out what I'm complaining about, what happened to the others. So we never spoke. Sometimes we think about doing it, but we just have to bear our thing, and funds keep going and not coming back. So we want to know how long again we could last going this way.
What is something that you want Tobagonians to know about, you know, the egg production and making sure that you guys can be able to supply the groceries so that people can have eggs?
Yeah, but well Tobago need to have something in Tobago, like a hatchery. I don't know, but the farmers and they will not coming together. Nobody is coming together. Everybody fighting this battle individual. Who could take away the most? Even in Trinidad, they have a farm at Hope Farm there, where they run. But right now, I don't think they have any eggs now, because probably the monies and so on to get the chickens and so on. But they were undercutting the market and trying to make people believe that you can get a dozen eggs at $7 a dozen. So they actually give us some competition, making people believe that we hiking up the price of eggs, but then it's showing now that they can't keep it up now. Because government putting funds there, they're not selling it to make money to buy back the thing. Unless government didn't put the funds, they don't have money to purchase anything.
What is one thing that you want Tobagonians to know about your work in making sure that they can be able to purchase eggs at the grocery stores?
Well, they have to come together. Tobagonians have to come together and lobby with the government or the assembly, is the assembly now Tobago, to set up something that Tobago can get feed adequate enough. And not depending, we have to depend now. If I don't depend on master mix in Trinidad, I can get, they have a thing in Nipdek where they want to sell the Tobagonian the feed, but it's very high. So we can depend on that, because one time you will get, the next time you don't get. So we have that relationship for years with Master Mix in Trinidad, where we get in our feed and we have to stick. If they say the price is up, well, there's nothing we could do. Pay the price, but we will have to pass it on to you and the consumer.
Right.
Right now, all in America, the egg price is sky high.
All right, well, Mr. McConey, I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us, because I think this is a story that, or this is a situation that we don't know too much about in Tobago. You know, we see those prices going up every week
day.
almost.
Yeah, every week.
And we don't know the reason behind this.
Yeah.
But I think it is important that we know this, and then we could somehow maybe come together to, as Mr. McConey said, to help make sure that we could keep some of the production costs down, so that us as consumers could pay less at the grocery stores.
I don't know how they will do that. They will have to start planting some corn. How are they going to get this thing to survive in Tobago?
All right, great. Well, Mr. McConey, I want to thank you so much for this very enlightening conversation.
Thank you.
And folks, that's it from me, Candace Jackson from McConey Egg Farm, and it's back to you in studio.
And this, viewers, it's 7:44 a.m. and just before we dive into this next segment here on the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, we've got a birthday. We've got a birthday in the mix. One of the birthdays being celebrated today, and we're looking for that photo coming up. This is Ninga Cunningham. All right, some of you may know her out there from the UWI St. Augustine campus, really making an exceptional difference in administration out there. Are we Tobago girl? We want to say morning, and happy birthday going out to you, Ninga, from me and my family and the entire Tobago Updates family. Viewers, in this segment, she says, you want a bamba, you want a G with the big boys. Certainly known from the very start of her tenure in January. And this time around, we are chatting with GCI Tobago and the official visit to Tobago with GCI Senator Kevin Cornett. Good morning.
Good morning.
As well as President Janelle McConey Critchlow. Morning.
Morning, Julian.
And you see, I get the opportunity to wish you a happy anniversary on set.
Thank you so much.
appreciate that. I really appreciate it.
All right, so this morning as we begin the conversation, now GCI Tobago is no stranger here in the Tobago space, and I want to get started immediately with you, GCI Senator Kevin, to give us a sense in terms of, tell us a little bit about who you are, and then coming in here to visit us in the Tobago space. What area do you belong to, what region and so on, and your areas of responsibility.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure being here this morning in Tobago. This is my first time in Tobago, so it's a whole new experience. So I'm from Guyana, and I sit as the National Executive Vice President for JCI West Indies for 2022, and also the assigned officer for JCI Tobago. And my area of expertise or opportunities that I have to provide is to assist my assigned state, which is JCI Tobago. I'm also assigned to JCI Port of Spain. So I'll assist my state in things like training, development opportunities, and basically getting the members on board with what is happening in JCI.
All right, but no pressure at all. I'm certain by the time you're done your visit here in Tobago, Tobago would have distinguished ourselves.
Yes.
All right, without fear or favor. President Janelle,
Yes,
give us a sense. How has it been for you over the last few months, having taken up this responsibility, in terms of, I love the fact, and I always say it, your very high energy and dedication, bringing your own style to the presidency. How has that experience been for you?
Well, it has been really, really good. Right? I wouldn't sit here and say it hasn't had its challenges, but overall it has been really good. I am embracing the challenge. I'm trying to get my members engaged, get them more involved, get them to participate, get them just to remember their oath of office, their commitment that they took, because that commitment falls on integrity. Right? Remember, you took an oath to serve this organization, this youth organization. So just to revitalize their energy, the disengaged members. So I just try to use all the avenues that are available to me, right? Social media, TikTok, Facebook, and yes, you might see me having fun, but I also do what I have to do. I ensure that we fulfill the JCI mandate of the national organization, and we are ensuring that we reach all the deadlines that we need to keep to make sure that JCI Tobago remains the #1 leading organization in Tobago.
All right. Senator Kevin, tell me, you know, she just mentioned in terms of she does not hesitate to use social media wherever she is as president.
Yes.
Have you already been engaged from that standpoint with President Janelle?
Definitely. I didn't even touch Tobago as yet. I was at Piarco International Airport and she was bugging me. She was like, do a video, let us drop it. And as soon as I touched down at the airport here in Tobago, I was involved in at least 3 videos, 3 TikToks.
Excellent.
And I did have fun.
Yeah. So I want you to tell us a little bit, as the National Executive Vice President, tell us a little bit about the focus, you know, in terms of JCI very broadly and its reach as an organization.
Yes, so JCI is, for those of you who don't know what JCI is, it's Junior Chamber International, and it's a group of young, enterprising people. And we focus on building youth in their entirety. Okay, so the social aspect, their personal development, and we teach them skills as well, skills that wouldn't only benefit them through their tenure through JCI, but also further afield. So we offer training such as leadership development, communication skills, and so on project management. So if you're a JCI member, you'll be able to plan and execute a project effectively, not only in JCI, but if you go somewhere else.
Great.
Yes.
Tell us about the significance and importance of your visit, because it happens from on an annual basis that we will have visits taking place in the context of within JCI Tobago and you know, the various organizations. Tell us about the significance of your visit for those who for the first time probably hearing about a visit. I mean, but we know it happens annually.
Yes. So JCI believes in 1 year to lead. So this year I'm the assigned officer for Tobago. Next year it might be someone else. So no one person holds the same position for many years, just 1 year. So this year, Janelle is the president for JCI Tobago, somebody else would be the president. So the significance of my visit is to basically market JCI Tobago, assist them in getting their brand out there, letting the people or the youths of Tobago know a bit more about what JCI is, what we do here at JCI. And as President Janelle said, she wants JCI to be the leading or the #1 organization here in Tobago. And actually, JCI Tobago is the #1 organization because the national organization...
See that in slow motion. Go ahead for me again. JCI Tobago. I'm sure she would want this for the record. Go ahead for me again. JCI Senator Kevin. Go ahead for me.
Yes.
JCI Tobago.
President Janelle stated that she wants JCI to be the leading or the #1 organization in Tobago. And I must say, for 2022, it is the #1 or leading organization in Tobago because the national organization sits here in Tobago because our national president is out of Tobago or JCI Tobago. That is Brittany Romeo. We also have a national vice president from Tobago, Sean Benoit, and our national secretary general, Brittany Williams.
Excellent.
Yes.
And you know, it's important, and I always make this in terms of giving shout-outs, definitely, to those who continue to play a significant role representing us at that level. Brittany, Sean, and Brittany. So it's Brittany Romeo, Brittany Williams, and Sean Benoit really making a difference. Morning to each and every one of you. And this is the point where I obviously want to raise the connection quite naturally. GCI here in the Tobago space, President Janelle, has been around for some time. And, you know, I always give kudos to the team. I remember very early then, back in 2010 or 2011, I would have had the opportunity as part of an interim steering committee, myself along with Sean Benoit, morning to Dion Isaac as well, Keston Williams, and very instrumental in that was actually our now councillor, and who is also a GCI Senator, Petel Daniel Benoit. If you, in terms of how do you feel about the achievements of GCI, particularly holding that mantle now going forward, after a number of years being able to maintain a particular level and standard in the Tobago space? Any pressure at all with the continued growth and development of the organization?
Well, to be quite honest, JCI is a constant pressure because we always have pressure from the national organization to fulfill the mandates of JCI International, right? So I would say that the strides that we have made in the Tobago space is one that is very commendable. As I would have stated at my last visit, I joined the organization in 2019, right? And that was just the other day. And I would have evolved because I wanted to really give back. And looking into the organization before coming a member, I was like, oh, JCI seems pretty cool. You know, the addressing people is like a little fraternity. When you're in meetings, we have the whole parliamentary setting. So it exposes you to a lot of things, right? And it also helps you to develop personally and professionally. So I believe that in Tobago, we are doing great things. And as I would have mentioned on the last show, we were nominated top 3 of the best local organization in the world, JCI Tobago. So we are making significant strides. So you guys who were a part of that steering committee to actually bring JCI to Tobago should feel really proud to see that, hey, in 2011 and look at in 2020, they are doing big things. And as I said before, it's really a constant pressure from the national organization, but all good pressure because it helps to build you, helps to build character. It helps you to navigate even in your work settings, you know, doing proposal, holding meetings, speaking in public. I mean, look at me.
And we always say kudos always to GCI Senator Petel, Daniel Benoit, in terms of having that initiative being exposed to it in Trinidad.
Definitely.
And therefore insisting we need to be able to get something started here in Tobago. Tell our viewers about at least one of the outstanding projects that you've been able to execute, to give them a sense of how they have already been involved in the work here to make JCI Tobago a success thus far in your year.
Well, JCI have a plethora of outstanding projects. We just executed Project Savage, and we have our 5K run coming up on Saturday, which is really an inclusion project for persons, for differently able persons, right? So we really wanted to execute it on World Down Syndrome Day, but given the fact that a number of activities were happening, we decided, you know what? Inclusion doesn't mean just one day, 1 month. Inclusion means for the year. So let's break the barrier of just celebrating this thing 1 day and a 1 month. So we decided, okay, we're going to do it in April. We understand that April is the month for autism, and everyone is included in this run. So we are asking persons to come out, be involved, right? Be that young, developing, active citizen. Come and give back to your community. And JCI offers that opportunity to everyone. So our 5K run is on Saturday. We have a number of prizes. We are inviting persons to come on board, be a part. Julian, come out in the run. You don't have to run, you could walk. We have a music truck by Shorty Promotions, and I just want to take the opportunity, if I'm allowed, to big up some of our sponsors, right? So Shorty Promotions, we have Miles Almando's, Bago Car Rental, a whole lot of sponsors we have on board. Right, so I'm just inviting persons to come out and support the initiative.
Tell us what time and what's the location on Saturday?
Okay, so it's...
Because I want to make sure that also on our team here, you know, our producer, Anton Parks, would have also been one of those the early members in 2011 in terms of our startup and getting things moving. So I don't want Anton Parks to not hear the date and time to be there as well.
Okay, so it's on Saturday, this Saturday, and we're asking persons to reach for 5 a.m. in the morning as we are set to leave this Grey Roxbrook Sporting Complex and head up to Kings Bay Beach facility at 6 a.m. So on the spot at 5 a.m., persons will be able to collect their jerseys, and we have a little warm-up session. As I said, we have a music truck, so it'll be a lot of vibes. Just come and support the initiative.
And this move to the East is representative of the President and Executive Vice President this time around?
Definitely.
morning, Kosi.
Definitely, and we felt as though, you know, everything happened on the western side of the island. And we have members who are from the East, and, you know, they always talk about how they have to come down. And if we are about inclusion, I mean, we have persons in the East who want to participate, who are into fitness. So we decided, okay, let's go up to the East and have this event.
All right, you're beginning to sound like our chief there, making sure there is definitely that spread across the Tobago space. Very quickly, GCI Senator Kevin, as we look to wrap this morning's interview, what would be the message you would want to put out there? What are you looking forward to most on this 3-day visit, which would have started yesterday?
Okay, what I would be looking forward the most is that all that I would do over the next 3 days, membership growth within JCI Tobago is realized. I would want President Janelle to message me to say, okay, because of your visit and the information that we put out there, 10 members would have joined, or even 20. So membership growth is definitely what I'm looking forward from.
All right. Visit. No pressure at all, President Janelle.
No pressure.
How do persons, just remind persons, how do they communicate, get in contact with JCI Tobago?
Okay, so JCI Tobago, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our email address is jcitobago@gmail.com, or you could reach out to me. My number is 469-6515. So that is how you could be in contact with JCI Tobago.
All right, excellent. So thank you very much again joining us here, GCI Senator Kevin Cornett, on his official visit to Tobago, and President Janelle McConey Critchlow, here of the President of GCI Tobago. And remember, folks, you can get involved on Saturday. It's up at the Sid Gray Stadium from 5 a.m. Persons are required to gather. Come be a part, come get to engage, and in fact get the opportunity to meet GCI Senator Kevin in person as we show him that Tobago love and support. And I want to wish you every success on your visit here to Tobago. Viewers, at this point, we prepare to head over to our next segment, This Day in Tobago History, with Devon Adana.
Tobago history. Did you know that in April 1838, there were no schools in the windward half of Tobago? According to Susan Craig James's The Changing Society of Tobago, 184 years ago this month, C.J. Latrobe, who helped plan education for newly freed Africans in the West Indies, noted in his report to then Secretary of State for War and the Colonies that with the exception of 20 students at Murchiston or Lambeau Hill, there were no opportunities for schooling in the northern or windward part of Tobago, putting them at a severe disadvantage. At the time, there were 12 day schools, 110 Sunday schools, with 1,678 children enrolled. Of these children, 547 were the children of apprentices, as Tobago was currently under the apprenticeship systems, slavery having been abolished 4 years prior. Latrobe, in his report entitled Negro Education in the Windward and Leeward Islands, found that Tobago teachers were of a superior class to those ordinarily met with in the British West Indian Islands. From 1834 at the abolition of slavery, there was a concerted effort by churches to build more schools in Tobago. The Moravians were the first to start a day school for the newly freed Africans, which was located at Montgomery. The Church of England followed suit, building a school at Lescotho and Plymouth in 1836. Schools at Hope, Goldsboro, and Roxborough came to be in 1837. Mount Pleasant and Lambo schools were built in 1838. There was even a day school at the Bacalet Estate that operated twice per week. Latrobe's report helped the British Parliament vote on the promotion of Negro education and helped to make decisions on how the charitable money of Negro would be distributed in the West Indies. In late 1838, the Miko charity opened a school in Scarborough and another in the Wesleyan Chapel at Mason Hall. The activities of the Micro Trust ceased early in 1842. You've been watching This Day in Tobago History. My name is Devon Adana. Back to you in studio.
Welcome back, viewers, and we're in the final segment here. Thank you so much, Devon Adana. And yes, you saw me down in it trying to make sure I follow the live here. I want to give a morning shout out to June Phillips Pierre. We're also connecting with Ancilla Ashley Kirby. Morning to each and every one of you. V-Sim Fred, I see you out there. Morning, V-Sim Fred. Kamaria Karut, all right, sending out kudos there. Excellent interview, Stephen Makoni Critchlow. Morning to you, and we want to thank each and every one of you. I'm seeing Laverne Simon on the live. Morning to you. Good morning, Lavian. Morning as well, going out to QK Melville, and we're seeing each and every one of you on the live here with us. Didi Vincent, where is Didi Vincent this morning? Latoya Anderson, Liesel James, morning to each and every one of you. Chantel Melville. All right, we want to thank you all so much for the continued love and support that we continue to encourage. Gary Francois out there in Trinidad as well, and he says to me, yes, I'm tuned in on TV following. Morning Gary Francois out there, and we want to thank each of you for your love and support. Yes, my uncle Elvis O'Connor, I know you're tuned in as well to the Tobago Updates morning show out in Couva. Folks, we want to thank you all so much for the love and support. Each and every one of you that sit daily at that TV watching us via Gael, the channel as well, watching us via Emily TV. Those of you who join us on radio along the way and on the move, Smash Radio. Those of you who connect with us via our website as well as YouTube. And those of you who ensure that you log on to Facebook and our social media platforms, Instagram, each and every day to connect with us. As I always say, our success here at the Tobago Updates is due to you, and therefore we want to always thank you so much. Thank you for that continued love and support. Coming up next, we've got GMT with Denicia and Candice. Good morning, Tobago. But for now, we want to say bye-bye and thank you so much. This has been the Tobago Updates morning show. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, folks. Remember, as Ria would say, Ria, I'm looking out for you. I'm looking out for you. Keep safe wherever you're out there. To wear your mask. Remember that we're still washing those hands and sanitizing, and to socially distance. Bye-bye, folks.
You're never gonna cramp my style, baby, cause I get a lot of pleasure. And if you wanna test my style, you better have a whole lot of measure. Cause I'm a rock back chick, never tag along the never look back chick. Trendy, a little crazy, intelligently, singing rock back chick.
Rest easy at American Stores. Up to 20% off. Outstanding discounts on selected Serta, Sealy, and Therapeutic mattress brands. Check us out today at American Stores, where we make quality living affordable.
I faked a migraine to skip my in-laws' anniversary.
I call all my girlfriends babe, so I don't mix up their names.
I always pick fights before my boyfriend's birthday, so I don't have to buy him a gift.
Some secrets are too good to keep, like the KFC secret recipe bucket with 9 pieces of chicken and 5 regular sides for $129. Only at KFC.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Tobago is Easter, so join us. Call Thorns Place 745-7306 or 682-8676 and book your stay now. Rooms as low as 200 TT. Message us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. Just a 5-minute drive from the Scarborough Port. Tobago is Easter, so join us.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Are you looking for that all-in-one shopping experience? Then look no more. Visit Lamb's Best Mart for your grocery items, fruits and vegetables, drinks, home items, stationery, gift items, hampers, shopping gift cards, toiletries, small hardware items, and much more. We provide order and pickup service, even delivery to your door. We are your friendly community supermarket. Check us out today at Lamb's Best Mart, located at 22 Daniel Trace Canby, or visit us on social media at Lamb's Best Mart.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been...
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Na 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na 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 na. Wake up with Candace and Denasia. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger.
The minority leader questions the morality of the chief secretary.
Bookery Ferry to remain operational for Easter.
Signal Hill man chopped in land dispute.
And in sport, 3 Tobago players to feature in U19 Cup.
To a brand new dawning, as the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago. I am Candace Jackson.
And I am Denise Dempster. It is Thursday, 7th April 2022. Let's dive into our top story.
The integrity and morality of the Chief Secretary, Fali Augustine, is being questioned by the Minority Leader Kelvin Morris. His statements were in relation to the controversy with Dr. Winfred James being appointed to the Studley Park Enterprise Limited Board under the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, which is managed by his brother Trevor James. Following concerns raised by many, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine announced the appointment of Dr. James is being renewed. Morris says this announcement raises questions.
Is it that the Chief Secretary's principles of right and wrong changes and are only influenced by public perception and popularity? because he ought to have known that this issue is one of a clear conflict, and therefore it should not require the intervention of the public to make him change his mind.
According to the minority leader, the chief secretary cannot be removed from blame about the situation because the approvals for Dr. James is supposed to be an executive council decision.
And as far as I understand how executive council and boards are appointed, these recommendations must come to the executive council, of which the chief secretary heads, and he must approve these recommendations.
Morris stated that this is not the kind of transparency and accountability that Tobago voted for.
Meanwhile, the Tobago Business Chamber says it is not about personalities, but about the PDP-led THA doing the right thing. Chairman Martin George was speaking about the appointment of Dr. Winfred James to the board of the Studley Park Enterprise Limited. That board is under the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, which is managed by Dr. James' brother, Trevor James George. George says it is an obvious conflict of interest. He is pleased that Chief Secretary Falia Gustin has listened to the concerns and is now reviewing Dr. James' appointment. However, George maintains his objections have nothing to do with whether Dr. James is competent enough.
And I know that he can bring tremendous benefit to the table in relation to this appointment. It just does not have the appearance of that impartiality and that transparency and accountability upon which this THA administration campaigned.
Despite PDP defenders stating that worst forms of nepotism took place under the PNM administration, George says it is not an excuse for justifying Dr. James' appointment.
It is not good enough to say that the other side did worse. We want to hold this THA administration to a standard where they actually strive to do better, not to measure themselves against those who do worse.
Meanwhile, the Innovative Democratic Alliance has expressed their opposition to Dr. James' appointment. They say it is yet another broken promise from the PDP to govern without nepotism and corruption. IDA is of the view that if the situation is not nepotism in reality, it is so at least in perception and has the potential to corrupt practices to emanate.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says he has instructed Caribbean Airlines to add international flights to Tobago. While at a PNM meeting in Diego Martin on Tuesday night, Dr. Rowley told supporters that the national airline owes it to the taxpayers, especially the taxpayers from Tobago, to have international flights added to the destination.
We cannot tolerate any longer that we have a tourism product in Tobago trying to sell it to the world, paying outside airline to bring passengers and empty seats to our Tobago, and our own airline does not fly to Tobago. Carl has been instructed to put in arrangement New York to Tobago non-stop if you have to. The taxpayers want that.
The announcement of the New York flight is expected to be made in a month's time.
Because Carl is going to St. Lucia, he's going to Barbados, but not going to Tobago. Our own airline not going to Tobago. I could never understand that. So I'm saying to all of you and to all of us, if we have an airline, it must fly to Tobago under some condition that we are going to look out for.
Dr. Rowley stated that while CAL and other airlines are being sought for international airlift, he is ensuring that the A&R Robinson International Airport can handle passengers.
With the current low number of passengers, the current airport facility that we had there couldn't manage it. We did a two-step arrangement there. First, we upgraded what is there now. Go to Tobago now and you'll find an upgraded facility there now.
The second step is the construction of a new airport terminal to the tune of $1.3 billion. That project is now underway.
The dry docking of the Buku Reef ferry has been rescheduled. The Port Authority had stated earlier that the vessel would be placed on dry dock in early March. However, a release from the port today stated that the vessel will now be taken for its statutory maintenance from April 20th. It said the vessel underwent preparatory landside work in March. The port assured that additional sailings of the Buku Reef, APT James, Galleon Passage, and the TNT Spirit have been scheduled to satisfy the peak demand associated with the Easter holiday. A copy of the schedule is available on the port's website.
Turning now to some news of crime. A Signal Hill man was chopped about the body on Tuesday evening. Police say the incident occurred at the man's Clark Trace home. It is alleged that the 35-year-old was at the said address around 7:10 p.m. when a family member armed with a cutlass dealt him 2 chops about the body. The victim was taken to the Scarborough General Hospital by an emergency health service ambulance. The incident reportedly stemmed from a family dispute.
Now on to some news from Trinidad. Family, friends, fans and colleagues of the entertainment fraternity paid tribute and said their last goodbyes to soca icon Dexter Black Stewart at his funeral on Wednesday. Black succumbed to the COVID-19 virus a little over a week ago at the Rima General Hospital. The closed casket funeral service, which was streamed live, took place at the grandstand of the Queen's Park Savannah, Port of Spain. Fellow soca artists who paid homage to the icon included Destra Garcia, Pretty, and Voice. In true celebratory carnival style, fans in attendance at the funeral led a procession through the streets of Port of Spain. Not to be left out, some Tobago fans of Mason Hall, led by businessman Kenneth Shorty Otley of Shorty Promotions, hosted a wake for blacks on Tuesday night at his business place. We at Tobago Updates extend condolences to the family of Dexter Black Stewart. His contributions to the culture will be preserved.
Now on to some other news. Telecommunications giant Digicel celebrated 16 years of operations in Trinidad and Tobago yesterday. Chief Executive Officer Abraham Smith says the success of Digicel in Trinidad and Tobago all comes to their focus of delivering customer-centered services. Despite being an international company, Digicel takes extra steps to ensure that they support the passions of their customers and the culture through the signing of brand influencers. Coming out of the pandemic, the company is focused on aiding the development of the digital economy and in the country, as well as exporting digital services. To celebrate their Sweet 16, the telecommunication company had a lot of giveaways yesterday. They reduced their one-day plan by 16%. Meanwhile, 16 customers and many of their stores nationwide had their bills written off while they waited in line to pay. Giveaways will continue for the rest of the week.
Sports next, find out who are the 3 Tobago players to feature in the U19 Cup.
Rest easy at American Stores. Up to 20% off. Outstanding discounts on selected Serta, Sealy, and Therapeutic mattress brands. Check us out today at American Stores, where we make quality living affordable.
I faked a migraine to skip my in-laws' anniversary.
I call all my girlfriends babe, so I don't mix up their names.
I always pick fights before my boyfriend's birthday, so I don't have to buy him a gift.
Some secrets are too good to keep, like the KFC secret recipe bucket with 9 pieces of chicken and 5 regular sides for $129. Only at KFC.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Na 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na 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 na. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Turning now to some sport. 3 Tobago under-19 cricketers have been selected to play in the first ever Sports and Culture Fund Under-19 Cup, which bowls off on Friday in Trinidad. The details in this report.
Josh Telemack, Xavier Reid and Orlando James will make the trek to Trinidad to play in the tournament. The event comes on the heels of the recent completion of the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board's Interzone tournament, which was sponsored by the Price Club Supermarket and the Tiger Tanks Unlimited. 4 teams will be bidding for honours in the 50 overs duration per team, with the first ball being bowled at 9:30 a.m. The selection of the teams was made by the national selectors based on their performances in the Under-19 Price Club Tiger Tanks Interzone tournament. President of the TTCB, Azim Basarat, said that following the tournament, the outstanding performers will be drafted into a training squad for a series of trial matches. The squad will be preparing for the Cricket West Indies Regional Under-19 Championship, which will be staged from August 7th to 28th in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. For Tobago Updates Sport, I am Gail Thomas.
Moving on to the weather forecast. Today, you can expect generally hot, sunny, and hazy conditions, with the likelihood of showers over a few areas, especially during the afternoon. There is also a relatively mild concentration of Saharan dust in the atmosphere, which is likely to persist over the next few days. Temperatures are expected to get up to 31 degrees Celsius during the day and drop to 24 degrees Celsius at night. Seas are moderate with waves between 1.5 and 2 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas.
Now let's recap the headlines. Minority Leader questions the morality of the Chief Secretary.
Bookery Ferry to remain operational for Easter.
Signal Hill man chopped in land dispute.
And in sport, 3 Tobago players to feature in U19 Cup.
That's it for your morning news. Join us again in the morning tomorrow with more news. All right, Denicia. Well, that's the news for today. But we have some things happening, developing in the national space, where we had, the Prime Minister and the opposition leader, having this discussion about who's spying on who. I mean, we had on Monday, the opposition leader was accusing the Prime Minister of having spy equipment there to spy on, officials and whatnot. But then we also had the Prime Minister stating that, well, basically confirming that equipment is in the country.
Yeah, and he did rebut the claims somewhat, saying that, this is a foolish statement, because she did make mention that they were spying on judges. And he said, what are we going to get out of spying on judges? Like, what information can we could get from that situation? So it has been a lot of back and forth between the both of them, with the who say what, the he say, she say, type of banter. But to me, I feel like it's based on everything that is going on right now in our economy, there are more serious problems that we could talk about and address.
Like the price of eggs going up. I mean, eggs is very important to our daily diets. Like, so much is based up on it. I mean, if you have a baking business, right now as we're coming out of the pandemic and so on, we're being encouraged to have our own thing. But if we can't, if our raw materials keep going up, it's going to be difficult for business owners.
Yes, most definitely. But we're going to pay close attention to these stories as it develops, so we could tell them what we have planned today,
Right, so we have an interview coming up with Digicel because we heard that Digicel is celebrating 16 years in Trinidad and Tobago. So we have the CEO of Digicel as well as the public relations, the head of the public relations in Digicel that's going to be speaking to us a little bit about what this telecommunications company has been doing in Trinidad and Tobago.
For the past 16 years, what they have been up to and how have they been able to maintain and stay as number one. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Are you looking for that all-in-one shopping experience? Then look no more. Visit Lamb's Best Mart for your grocery items, fruits and vegetables, drinks, home items, stationery, gift items, hampers, shopping gift cards, toiletries, small hardware items, and much more. We provide order and pickup service, even delivery to your door. We are your friendly community supermarket. Check us out today at Lamb's Best Mart, located at 22 Daniel Trace Canby, or visit us on social media at Lamb's Best Mart.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Na 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 na. Good morning, Tobago. Na 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 na. Wake up with Candace and Denasia. Let's go. It's a brand new morning.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. I am Denasia Dempster and it's 8:26 on this Thursday morning as we continue to have talks about Digicel and their celebratory anniversary. We are going to have a conversation this morning with the CEO, Abraham Smith, as well as the heads of public relations, Mr. Colin Greaves. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago.
Good morning.
How are you?
We're doing fantastic. How are you today?
So let's get right into the gist of things. So yesterday you celebrated 16 years. So could you tell us how you are feeling as a company and what could we expect from Digicel moving forward?
Denasia, thanks. First, hello to all the staff and customers there in Tobago. Good to be with you this morning. We've had a great 16 years. You know, we came 16 years ago, and we really focused on what people wanted. At that time, people wanted more choice, better service, lower call rates. If you remember how much phone calls used to cost, more affordable devices, and we were able to bring that. I was speaking to a woman in our shops yesterday who talked about at her home for years she had never had mobile service, and when we came and built, she was able to get mobile service. So we really focus on what customers need and want. And I think that principle is what is keeping us successful over those 16 years and what will keep us successful over the next 16 years is really focusing on the lives of our customers and delivering on that need.
Mr. Smith, how has Digicel and why does Digicel continue to invest in culture, the community, the people? Why is it so important?
That's a great question. We've made a commitment early on to invest not just in our networks, but in our people in the country. If you look at the different initiatives we've been involved in over the years, we've shown a real commitment to culture and entertainment. Mr. Greaves has really led some of that effort recently.
Mr. Greaves, what is the current situation of telecommunications in TNT and how is Digicel being able to ensure resilience, especially during a pandemic and post-pandemic? Can you put on your mic for a second? I'm not hearing you. I'm still not hearing you.
You know, I'll take that if you can hear me there, Denasia. If you talk about resilience, if the question's about resilience, resilience is really important. As we saw, fortunately, in Tobago, you didn't experience the power outage like the island of Trinidad did. But resilience is important, not just in our personal lives, but in our network as well. And we were able to weather that day extremely well, keeping our customers connected. And we get that resilience by continuing to invest in the networks and the technology. And the resilience also comes from the quality of folks that are working on our networks. I've been extremely proud of everybody here at Digicel, the enthusiasm and the intensity that they work to make sure everyone stays connected.
What is the plans to build digital economy?
As we look at the evolution of technology, of our company, of customer lives, if you think about 16 years ago, it was all about just making a phone call, being able to connect with a loved one. Over recent years, it's been about how do we access digital goods and services. And I think this next phase, and I think we heard from the Prime Minister not too long ago, and from the Minister of Digital Transformation about the ambitions that we have as a country to not only be consuming things, digital goods from the rest of the world, but creating those digital goods and creating a true digital economy. So we're really excited about this next phase where we will be not only building in the networks, but encouraging entrepreneurs, helping folks build new digital products to take to the world, and also encouraging and supporting initiatives like the ARIMA Smart City Initiative and others. We're also really excited over the next 2 years. You're going to see some really great things bringing additional connectivity to the island of Tobago. So we're excited about that as well.
Mr. Greaves, what is the plans for giveaways for Tobago people? I'm still not hearing you. I don't know what is going on this morning.
I'll take it. I'll take it, Denicia. I think if you look at how we engage with folks, we're always having fun. I was talking to some of our staff who'd been here for 16 years yesterday, and that's the thing that they talked about was fun. So if you go into My Digicel app, go download My Digicel app, look at some of the exciting promotions we have in there for you. Yesterday, we gave 16% off of our one-day plans. We're giving away a big 58-inch smart TV. We gave away 16 bills paid for folks, and we really just want to really encourage and be exciting for folks and give back here on our birthday. So go check out My Digicel app, and you'll see a bunch of great promotions for you there.
Any specific plans for Tobago? Specifically, when do we expect 5G? Or when can we expect this?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing that we have planned for Tobago and we've announced this already, is that we're working to build additional fiber capacity that will directly connect Tobago to the rest of the world, independent of Trinidad. And so that's going to bring additional resilience, like we talked about before, and also build that really essential backbone to drive Tobago's digital future.
Mr. Greaves, are you hearing me now? You are hearing me, but I'm not hearing you. Mr. Smith, so I guess you could answer this question.
I can.
Do you all have any parties planned coming up to celebrate 16 years in Tobago or even Trinidad? Anything on a major scale?
So you'll have to stay tuned for that. I'm not going to give away any surprises on air today. You're going to have to stay tuned to our social media pages to see about that. But we had a great celebration yesterday in our stores and in our offices here, and really celebrated not just our customers, but those employees that have been with us for 16 years. That was a really exciting moment, getting to hear from them and hear what gets them out to work every day, delivering for our customers. So we had a great party yesterday. We've got more special stuff, but I'm going to keep teasing you. You'll have to stay tuned on our social media pages for that.
How have you been able to maintain your status as number one?
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. I think it goes back to what I started with, which is we have to go out and earn people's trust every single day, right? Technology and internet connectivity especially, as we've seen over the past 2 years, is now essential like water. And so the way that you maintain being number one is, number one, you deliver a quality product. Number two, you continue to listen to your customers and understand where they're going and make sure that you get there to support them. And if you look at how we've developed our networks, how we've rolled out our digital operator strategy, where we've focused on the digital services that people want the most. If you look at D-Music, for example, which is a Caribbean product delivering Caribbean music content to folks here in Trinidad and Tobago and other countries in the Caribbean, you see that you really have to focus on people and their needs. So that's how you maintain number one, is you keep listening to customers, and you got to be humble enough to change and innovative enough to do it in a way that really delivers on their needs.
Any last words for viewers that are listening?
Well, it was great being with you. I hope to get over and see you physically here, maybe right after Easter. And just a big thanks to all of our dedicated and wonderful employees who've been working really hard to keep our promises to our customers. And most importantly, thank you to our customers. We're really proud to serve you, and we're grateful to serve you.
Mr. Greaves, are you there? Can you still? Well, that's all the time we have, folks. Unfortunately, I would have really liked to hear Mr. Greaves, but I do want to wish you congratulations for celebrating 16 years. I know it has been a lot that you probably have to go through as a big company, and there are a lot of expectations from people. So I'm really happy that you all made it to 16 years, and I wish you all the best moving forward, and hope that you do continue with your growth and development. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Denise. Nice to be with you today.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, so there we had it. Just a nice little discussion with Giselle to see what's been happening, you know, how they've grown in the past 16 years and that sort of thing.
Yes, most definitely. Because you know what's interesting about the situation, back in the day, digital wasn't really something that most people, we started off with B-Mobile, we started off with TSCG. And then they came and they took over the entire market because they, like he said, provided a quality. He listened to the people's needs, and they were able to provide something that individuals really, really needed. You know, and because of that, they have grown to this extreme surplus. You know, they have managed to stay on top because they continue to listen to individuals and their needs, and they fine-tune and they work on the things that need to be worked on.
You know, sometimes competition is good. It's a win-win for customers, you know, because when you have a little bit of a competition, then you could, you know, you keep winning up. Right, and you know, so it's all about delivering that best service to your customers. But I'm afraid, viewers, that that's all of the conversations that we have for this morning. It was such a pleasure being with you all. But don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow.
Most definitely. So continue. We want to thank you for always supporting us, always being here, and always being. Without you, none of this would have happened. So we want to say thank you. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to tune in. Have a wonderful day and an even better weekend that is going to come up soon. So stay safe, keep smiling. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up. sun start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.